What is up, you guys? We have a kick-ass podcast episode for you today. He is back. I told y'all he'd be back. The one, the only, Pueblo's own Isaiah Torres. We're going to talk about his recent fight that happened 2 weeks ago. We're going to talk about Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all the big fights that are coming up. It's going to be an awesome episode. You're not going to want to miss it, so let's get into it. All right, man. How's it going?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, no problem. Returning guest. So you recently had a fight, and I just want to know, what was the process that led up into the lead up of that fight and the signing? Because not many people know, it takes this and that and a lot of different moving parts to book a fight.
Yeah. So me and Angelo, we've been scheduled to fight a couple times with different promotions and stuff, and just with the timing of it, this one being in Pueblo, I always want to do all the Pueblo ones, so just with it being perfect timing for me, allowing me to get all the weight off and everything, everything just worked out perfect for us to go fight for battle.
Cool. Nice. Now, forgive me if I poke a little too much, but there was a little bit of bad blood heading into it. It got real at the weigh-ins. Just what kind of led into that? Was it just banter on social media?
I said, we were supposed to fight a couple times, and then one time he had went just MIA. We signed and everything. We were supposed to fight in Dallas.
Oh, really?
Just went MIA. Nobody heard from him. Nobody nothing. But then he fought 2 weeks later.
Oh.
I was this guy. And I had fought, and I got injured pretty bad in one of my fights, and he put a laughing emoji.
What the?
In one of the comments, I'm like, bro, me and you were supposed to be fighting, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, and then just constantly a bunch of promotions were trying to pick up this fight. Hey, let's get this fight going. Let's get it. No, and then randomly then I would fight, and he would even if I would win, he would still try to
really?
talk just post stupid emojis comments. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But fortunately we were able to finally get it. So
nice, man, nice. Now, with that being said, what was the game plan going into the fight? I know you can kind of talk about that a bit more since it's done, and you had the height advantage, you had the reach advantage. Was the game plan to just kind of stay on the outside? Because I know a lot of fighters at this level, they're kind of grapple heavy. So what was your game plan heading into?
So in all of his fights, he starts he just blows his load pretty quick.
Right.
He does carry a lot of muscle for the division, but he's a lot shorter. There's usually two different body types. At 125, it's long and lengthy like me, or short and stocky like him. Right. So fortunately, we've had a lot of fights to where I've already fought that type of guy. And I think I've already fought better dudes than Angelo was at wrestling.
Nice.
So we weren't too worried about that. We were just going to stick and stay on the outside and just try not to let him. We know we were going to have to weather a storm quick.
Sure.
Throw a lot of knees up the middle, a lot of uppercuts, and that's ultimately what we.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Both. Yeah.
Me personally, I thought you should have been the main event because I feel like you're probably the most popular fighter in the city. Yeah. Everyone knows who you are. You have the whole town behind you. So what was that like? Because it's almost like Conor McGregor fighting in Dublin. Was that just an extra added motivation to not only get the win but get the finish?
So fighting as the main event, it kind of sucks because you're just waiting so long.
Sure.
So if I'm not the main event or co-main, I would just rather just fight right away and get it over with.
Yeah.
But it was somebody I knew. It was Cornejo who was the main event, so at least it was him. If it was somebody else, I've been kind of upset, but
cool, yeah.
It's him, which is cool for him. He's been their champ before as an amateur, so that's cool that they're kind of pushing their own guys. And like I said, I was with Fury before, so I don't expect them to cater to me right away. But they did treat us good, and just fighting in Pueblo, it's always just fun seeing everybody, and it's just comfortable not having to fly and cut weight and do everything I do when I have to fight in Texas.
Sure. Oh wow. Now speaking of promotions, the last time we talked, you were fighting for Top Shelf. I believe. And this one was Battle. Are you just bouncing around different promotions, or are you trying to stick to one?
Usually anytime there's one in Pueblo, I try to get on it no matter what.
Right.
I think the last one that was in Pueblo, I was still signed with Fury. They make you have to sign a contract and you're just strictly with them.
Okay.
Which is cool. They're really good to us too. And I get to travel and do all the other cool stuff. But usually, like I said, so the timing was just perfect because I was done with that contract. I was kind of free. debating whether to go back, what to do. So this one kind of just worked out that I was able to squeeze this one in public.
Nice, man. Do you plan on fighting here more often, or just wherever it takes you?
Yeah, kind of just see what's available and like what's more like good for me. Like, I'm a big 125er, so I do have to have like 8 weeks to be able to lose that weight healthy and like the way we like it, and we like our fight camps to be usually like 6 weeks. I did take a fight on I think 3.5, 4 weeks with Fury, and that one was kind of hard.
Really?
Like trying to get the weight off quick, and just like rush everything, because like usually a week out of the fight you really don't want to do nothing. You're trying to recover as much as you can, but I was still having to push because I was still having to get that weight off. But our timeline's usually like 6-8 weeks, and whoever like hits us up is whoever hits us up.
Is that like the ideal camp, not just for you, but you think for like any fighter, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah, personally, I hate doing short notice fights.
Really?
If I did it like at maybe like 35, I walk around like 145, like 150.
Oh, okay.
So realistically, it's not like good for me to lose that weight right away. But I would think if everybody, because it takes me like 2 weeks to get like in prime like cardio shape, and then to be able to push through the camp, and then those last like 3 weeks should be really hard, and then like I said, that last week that you should give your body time to heal.
What's the fight that you took on the most short notice? Like, because you have Nate Diaz took the Conor McGregor fight on 2 weeks notice. Same with Michael Bisping. What was like the shortest notice you took?
I think my very first fight maybe. It was like 2.5 weeks, but I was just like fresh out of high school, so I was easy to like make the weight, but I wasn't like in the best shape, so I gassed out in that one a little bit too. Just got the win, but that one, and then probably the last one with Fury was like 3.5, 4 weeks. And that's kind of a big process because you still got to travel.
It's like half the camp.
Yeah, you miss out on some things that like are like way finer detailed when you have a full camp, but it was still a good fight. I had fun. It was a majority draw, so.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah. Now, going back on the weight cut, what was the hardest weight cut you've ever had?
The hardest weight cut I've had is probably my second one when I fought Melvin. I fought Melvin Lopez in Dallas, and we had like all the other Colorado guys. We were all losing weight together outside, like in the portable saunas and stuff. And that one was pretty hard. Usually I'm able to sleep off like a pound or two that night. But I woke up and I didn't sleep any off. So I had to get those extra 2 at the end, and that one was pretty tough. Oh
man, that's crazy. So, do you ever like think about fighting at just your walk around weight, or do you think that's just a bad idea?
The thing that does suck about MMA is everybody does cut. Like even when I go like to other promotions, I'll see 25ers who are bigger than me.
Right, because there are weight bullies in any promotion. Yeah. So like, you never thought about fighting at your own weight class?
I might go to
walk around weight.
I might go to like 35 eventually, but like I said, unfortunately for MMA, a lot of people cut. So like if it's 35er, he's probably weighing 160, 165.
Nice.
45 or so on and so on. So everybody cuts. It's just depending on what you want your body type to be, what division you want to fight in.
Sure.
And 25 is just perfect for us because I still have the length. I don't ever feel like I'm getting like out muscled. So and it's not like horrible. Like I said, if I just do it right and I have the right amount of time, I can make it all the time.
Okay, nice. Now back to the fight. He came at you right off the bat, and like you said, you expected a storm. But like, was the game plan? I know you divulged your game plan a little bit earlier, but was it just about kind of taking wherever the fight went, or you said the knees and those worked perfectly? Money in the bank, and if the finish came to you, you got it. But it was just like, it was intense, I thought. So just give me your thought on like what was going through your mind as it was getting hot and heavy in there.
So I thought right off the bat, I thought he was just gonna go straight, but he actually started circling first. I was like, all right, well, it's gonna give me a quicker time to find my range. And then he started pressing, but then I think I threw a teep up the middle, and I hit him pretty good, but I hit him more with my toes than my heel.
Right.
And then that one went down, but I knew my jiu-jitsu was better than his just from watching his. He does a lot of like explosive movements, and when you're trying to like control someone on the ground, you kind of got to stay way more controlled than he does, so he lets a lot of openings to get out. And he like posted with his left arm, punch with his right.
You had the submission. Yeah. You were transitioning from a triangle into an arm bar, and I thought you had it, but I kind of saw you let it go.
Yeah. So the first arm bar, when I first switched my hips, that one was really deep. And then when I first had the triangle, I just knew I didn't have the right angle, and I just didn't want him because I know like he explodes a lot out of like triangles or arm bars, so I just didn't want him to slam. So I hooked that back leg, and I was just like chilling honestly because he was just. I could tell he was just punching so hard.
Right.
I was still getting a good enough squeeze to where it was gonna like take a lot out of him.
For sure.
And then towards the end, his head started slipping out, so I went belly down arm bar, and I just used it to transition up. But like I said, that's what he does. He just like he threw a lot of punches in there, but like maybe like one got me, and I was like, all right, he's just gonna blow his load. And then as soon as we got up, I could already tell
he was cut pretty bad too.
Yeah.
And then when you finished him, what were you saying? Because you were kind of screaming over him, and obviously no one could hear you, but like just give me a little insight on what you were
so just like at the weigh-ins, and like his family was like kind of like talking crap to my family, like, oh, we'll see you when you're picking up Isaiah, like all this and that. And it's just like annoying. I'm like, regardless, we still have, how much we age up, we still have to fight tomorrow, so I really don't care.
Because I sat next to his family. I didn't know it was his family.
Yeah.
Because I saw the seat open. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go sit there. It's closer. I could see the cage more.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was his family.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh man, okay.
Yeah.
And then your family was going crazy. Everybody was going crazy. But the part that like had me a little bit befuddled, I'd say, is when he was going like that, and I was just like, bro, like you won, you lost, like just take it, you know?
Yeah, and like even like after, like I already knew like if he beat me, like I knew it would have been so bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't like feel like horribly bad after. And even after, like I was trying to be cool with him, and he was just like brushing everything off. Like I was like, hey bro, like whatever, head up, and he was just like brushing everything off. Whatever, bro, whatever. All right, whatever, like.
You just gotta take your losses, like
man,
at the end of the day. That's just the most annoying thing, and I just feel like you obviously won't grow as much as a fighter like that, or even as a person when you do that. But I want to switch gears a little bit because obviously I don't really have anyone to debate MMA. So fights this weekend: Gaethje Poirier, BMF title. What's your thoughts on that? Who do you got?
I just watched the first one actually yesterday. Gaethje was starting to come back a lot, but it was more with leg kicks. But I think Poirier's gonna do a lot of body work.
I thought Poirier was piecing him up though.
Yeah.
I thought Gaethje got dominated.
And then the only thing that started saving him was just leg kicks, which he does kill everybody with leg kicks. But then I watched that Eddie Alvarez versus Gaethje.
Oh.
And Alvarez was just bodying him. So I think for Poirier, instead of headhunting so more, he should probably go to the body a lot more.
He's been going to the ground a lot more lately.
Yeah.
Like, especially with his fights against Conor and even Chandler. He, uses his boxing to take it to the ground, and that's kind of not like him. I think he'll do the same in this fight, though.
Yeah. And his jiu-jitsu is way better than Gaethje's. But,
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Like, Gaethje's always tough, but I'm sure they're working straight leg defense, so I'm sure that's going to get negated. So, like I said, I think Poirier has more options to switch up gears. Like, Gaethje really doesn't have much different to offer Poirier than what he did in the first time.
And I thought Gaethje was gonna lose his last fight to Fiziev.
Yeah,
but he surprised me because I thought Gaethje, he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's that smart.
Yeah,
whereas Poirier is a much smarter fighter, and I think that's what will win him this fight.
Yeah,
he said something about Gaethje a few months ago where he's like, he's still the same fighter, 100% all the time. He just gets in car crashes with his seatbelt on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, I think Dustin has what it takes to win. Probably I'd say second round TKO.
Is it 5?
Yeah, because it's for the BMF title.
Yeah. It'll probably be a 4th. I'd say 4th.
You'd say 4th?
Yeah, because like I said, I think he's gonna body him. I don't know why nobody bodies Gaethje that much because Alvarez killed him like that. And Alvarez striking's not that good.
No. I feel like in MMA though, no one really goes to the body. Though.
Yeah, it's scary because the knees. For sure.
Like people go to the body with their legs more than they do with their hands, and it's just weird. But man, it's awesome. So then the week after that, you got Nate Diaz, Jake Paul.
Yeah. And
Jake Paul's, I think he's saving boxing. I think he's making it way more interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think Nate could get it done, or do you think Jake is just that good?
For me, I think it's just a lot. How good is Diaz's defense? Because Jake Paul, southpaw and orthodox it's always the same thing. So when you switch stances, when you have opposite stances, the overhand right's going to be open and the overhand left's going to be open, which is what Jake Paul slept Woodley with.
Oh yeah.
And dropped Silva with.
Yeah.
So we'll see how good Diaz's actual boxing defense is.
Uh-huh.
But I think the later it goes, obviously it's gonna be Diaz.
Yeah, because it's 10 rounds.
Yeah, but then you gotta think about what is Jake Paul? I think they're fighting at 85.
Yeah, 85.
And Diaz is small. Like in MMA wise, he's small as a 70-year.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be tiny compared to Paul.
Because
sure.
Nate said he had to bulk up for this
Yeah.
fight, and I was just like, yee.
Yeah, and that's horrible. Like having extra weight on you, to like even like when I run, like when I'm just running, like not like in fight shape, it's so much different.
Right,
You're
right.
carrying it, but I hope Diaz wins.
I hope so too. I think it'll be interesting for Jake Paul's career, especially if he loses, because it'll be like he'll probably have to go back to fighting other YouTubers, other celebrities.
Yeah.
But I also think the caveat is Nate taking this seriously?
Yeah.
Is he like, he's just a YouTuber, I could just show up and just fight him? Arguably he can, but I feel like if he plays that game, he might get slept.
Yeah.
Because Jake is taking this super serious, and Nate got dropped by Conor. That's not me knocking Conor, but I just feel like with Nate not taking, I feel like he doesn't take a lot of his opponents seriously.
Yeah.
He clowns around in there, fools around. I feel like if he takes Jake seriously, he'll get him out of there for sure. And what also helps is he trains with boxers.
Yeah.
Andre Ward and top perennial guys. He just released his sparring footage the other day, and I thought, wow, he might actually beat Jake because his pressure, his cardio, and as you said, his pressure will win in the fight because Jake ain't used to that. Tyron Woodley didn't go after him.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva didn't go after him. Nate will go after him.
Yeah, and like the only time Woodley did push forward, as I think the first one is when he dropped him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's never had no one like crazy like just walk forward, stay in your face the whole time. And which Jake does gas a lot. Like even in the last one, it looked like he was gassing a little bit too.
He does.
And same with the Woodley one. He won all the early rounds, and then towards the end, he kind of was just chilling, circling, jabbing, and trying to get everybody to overextend. But we'll see. Like, but weight differences are crazy. So
yeah, because Nate, there was talks about him fighting at 185 in the UFC, but I was just like, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, because Leon was tossing him around, and Leon's not even that big of a 7-year.
And that's a good point. But also, I feel like with Jake, obviously, you don't have to worry about takedowns.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about knees. You don't have to worry about kicks. And I feel like that's his downfall in MMA. Sure, his BJJ is great, but
not when you're getting out-muscled.
Exactly. Not when you're getting out-muscled.
And that is a thing, like, what everyone's always like, would you rather spar smaller dudes or bigger dudes? I'm like, I would much rather spar bigger dudes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If they hit me, it's going to hurt, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, these little dudes they're throwing 10-piece combinations before I'm even getting off them.
Exactly.
So that's another thing, too, is, like, he probably will be a lot faster, be a lot lighter. So, I don't know. We'll see. I do hope he wins, though. But then also, like, I do like Jake because Jake actually does. You can tell he's, like, dedicated.
Jake does good for boxing because he makes more fights. He gets fights done faster than actual boxers do. That makes sense. Like, no one thought he would fight Tommy Fury, but he got it done, although it took 2 times. No one thought he would fight Anderson Silva, but he got it done. And then you got Bud Crawford and Earl Spence fighting this Saturday, and that took, like, 6 years to build.
Yeah, I saw their ages. They're crazy. I didn't know they were, like, 32 and 35.
They're pretty old.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's another good one coming up, too. But yeah, they do just take, and like same with like Canelo used that strategy too. He fought Triple G twice, and then he waited for the third one.
Oh my god! Yeah, when Triple G was way past his prime.
Yeah, and that one just looked horrible.
And then Floyd, he did the same. Fought Canelo when Canelo was like 12 years old.
Yeah. And
fucking outclassed him. So boxing is weird, but I feel like Jake is the only one that's kind of making it more interesting. Yeah. You know, and that's with all celebrity boxing. You know what, KSI and Logan Paul. You know, albeit they're not fighting guys that people know, but I feel like
that's who should fight is KSI and Paul.
Jake?
Yeah.
I think if Jake loses, that's the fight to make.
Because KSI's pretty good too.
He is. He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
I watched his fight with Logan Paul the other day, and he was just swinging. Yeah. I was like, yeesh, don't look that good, but he got it done.
He's good. Damn, he's actually all right. He might be.
He actually caught that guy with the elbow though.
Yeah.
And I was just like. And
that dude was like what? I think
he was an actual boxer though.
Yeah, undefeated too.
He was like a champion in some organization, but KSI was all parading around like, oh, I knocked him out, and I'm like, okay, but
yeah,
if it was MMA, yeah, all day clean, but it's whatever. So let's talk about Adesanya and Duplessis because that's a fight that's gonna happen. I don't know if it'll happen now, but it'll happen soon, and that beef is dark.
Yeah.
Already. And the last beef I could remember being this dark was Conor and Khabib.
Yeah.
What do you think about not only that fight, but a beef like that being so personal?
So when he went into the cage, it was like come on, bro. Like,
well, he kept saying the N-word, and
Yeah,
that just made me
like,
super uncomfortable.
and then like he didn't say nothing else after. Like he was just going on, and like even you can see Duplessis was just like, like, what do you want me to say? Like, and I didn't think he was even gonna get by Whitaker.
He surprised everybody.
But I had seen on aerials maybe I saw that he's hurt right now, so I think
they're gonna give it to Sean. And I don't like. I mean,
I think Sean's gonna get worked.
Oh, he is gonna get worked for sure. But I feel like that kind of kills the hype between Adesanya and Duplessis, because Duplessis like, I'm hurt, I got this, and then they give it to Sean, and then that fight might happen in September, and then that might be Adesanya's last fight for the year.
Yeah.
Whereas if you would have put that fight together soon, the hype for that would have been through the roof. And albeit is asking a lot for any fighter to take a fight of that magnitude, let alone Duplessis, who just fought 3 weeks ago.
And he looks like he's huge for the division, so I'm sure he does cut a lot of weight. So I'm sure that's a factor. I'm sure that's a factor into it too. But I don't know. Well, just watching him against Whitaker, I think he has the pressure to get to Adesanya. But Whitaker really didn't hit Duplessis too clean, so it's kind of hard to say like how his chin is. But I know when he fought Brunson, he was getting tagged up a little bit.
Till too. When he fought Darren Till, I thought the referee was going to stop it because Till was going off on him. But nonetheless, like, I feel like his grappling is better than Adesanya's.
Yeah, and like I said, he's huge for the division.
Yeah.
Because Whitaker's really good and held Adesanya. He was able to take Adesanya down a couple times and at least hold him down for a couple rounds. But Whitaker couldn't even move, it looked like, against him. So imagine if Adesanya was on the bottom of it. But that's another good one. At least it's like something new. It would have been. Yeah. I want to see Whitaker win it again, but
it's just tough. If Adesanya wasn't the champ of that division, he would be the reigning champ for a minute.
It was hard to see like a third time.
Yeah, because they're like, if Whitaker wins, the fight to make is with Adesanya. I'm like, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to see it again. Because when I first watched their fight, I thought Whitaker won.
Yeah.
At least
like.
Yeah, I thought he won close. Like 3-2. It was a close, but then I watched it again. I'm like, nah, he really didn't win that fight.
Yeah, it was a good one too.
So what do you think about a couple more topics, then I'll get you out of here. But what do you think about Sean O'Malley and Aljamain fighting, and Aljamain just getting all this hate for fighting these guys that people, one, thinks he'll lose to, but two, he beats in like a weird way?
Yeah.
Like, just give me your thoughts on that fight.
So when he fought TJ, that was really weird. But for this O'Malley, I guess they got. He even said it like they kind of forced him to take it, like.
Sure.
Which he's another big one, so the weight cut comes into effect too. But of course O'Malley's just a big draw for them, so they're gonna want to put that together. I think it's like the worst matchup probably in division for O'Malley, but it's like it's a worst matchup for both of them because if it's standing,
O'Malley could get it.
Sterling's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
But if it gets to the ground, Sterling kills everybody and gets that backpack on everybody.
Oh yeah.
And we really don't know how good Sean's submission defense, which against like Jan, he did pretty good.
Oh, that fight was probably the best fight of the year.
Getting up and stuff, but Jan got killed by Sterling by the backpack. So
exactly.
It's hard to do like MMA math, but I'm hoping it is just like a longer fight. I'm hoping we're able to see like both people get off. I'm hoping a little bit's on the feet. I'm hoping we get to see a lot on the ground to see how Sean ultimately does with that. But I think Sterling. I think it takes Sterling one takedown and he'll take the back and either dominate him for the whole round and cut him up, or he'll end up getting the choke like he did with Corey Sandhagen.
Right. I think if Sean gets it done, it has to be in the first or second round.
Yeah.
Because Aljamain's just gonna map him out, know what he's gonna do. He's gonna get a leg, get him down, and tap him out. And I just don't think Sean's defense. Again, we don't know. I just don't think it's that good to begin with. But on the feet, he'll pep him up like a steak, I feel.
Yeah.
So, now, it just got announced, the rematch, Oliveira-Makhachev.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a different fight than the last time. Because in my opinion, I don't think Charles looked like himself. Mm-hmm. I feel like he was a little bit... He looked sick, first of all. Not from the weight cut or anything, but he just looked out of it.
Yeah.
How do you think that fight will go?
For Makhachev, I felt kind of bad for him because there was really nobody new that he could take. It was either take Volkanovski or take Oliveira.
Yeah.
Or you could like try to wait, but I know their run or whatever. Their timing for him is like to get one in now. But I had also heard Oliveira saying like that at first he wasn't ready and now he is ready. So that's a little like red flag too. Like what was the injury? What was it?
He fooled everybody
so it's actually going on
because he was talking like, oh yeah, I can't make October, and then we're like, well, who's Makhachev gonna fight? And then Volkanovski's like, I'll fight, but then Makhachev called out Leon.
Yeah, and I think that's what they should have done.
With Leon and Makhachev.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have, but I feel like, well, they both have one title defense, so I guess that makes sense.
Because if you look at, like, he beat the pound-for-pound guy, Volkanovski, and then he beat that dude who was just killing everybody. Oliveira. So it's hard to, like, go back and, like, now who are you going to get that's a better win than those guys, you know what I mean? But I do see the way Oliveira fought last time, he looked really good again, like he always does.
Against
but
Dariush,
but I think Makhachev's just so much stronger than him, it looked like last one.
Yeah.
And Oliveira always somehow ends up like on his back, and I think, but he might make an adjustment, like not want to just chill, because last time he like pretty much pulled guard.
He pulled guard. I'm like, you do not want to do that against.
And
this
then
guy.
you could tell it just took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
And standing, even though it was like even, I think the longer it goes. I watched it again the other day, and I was like, Oliveira was kind of winning.
He was,
stand up, but like it wasn't like horrible.
No.
There was a hook that dropped him, but
it was like a weird looping hook, like from out here. He gets dropped by the weirdest things, like punches you don't think would drop him. He just like falls. But I just thought Oliveira would have the advantage in the stand up, and then when he got dropped, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, and that'll be the thing too. Is I would be throwing like a lot of teeps up the middle, a lot of kicks, which he does good with that little like fakes. He like it looks like almost like a check, like he's in a check, and then he either throws a knee or a teep or something. That'll keep him away a lot too, but we'll see how good Makhachev. But I'm thinking Makhachev like really, it would be hard for me to like be motivated to do that one again right away.
Sure. Because he beat him rather convincingly.
Yeah. And then like I said, like he just fought Volkanovski, who's pound for pound. Like, now I gotta go back and fight this guy I already beat, and that'd be hard for me to do. Right.
I feel like this fight he has a lot more to prove. In the Oliveira fight than the Volkanovski fight, because I thought he won the Volkanovski fight pretty handily.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that close. At the end, like he went off, but I thought it was 4-1.
I thought it was 4-1, and if you want to be nice, maybe 3-2.
Yeah.
But that's a big maybe, because I made a video and people are like, "Oh, you just like Islam. You're just hating on Volkanovski," because I do kind of shit on Volkanovski here and there. But I was like, no, like I'm being genuinely honest. He outstruck Volkanovski. Dropped him twice.
Yeah. The
only round Islam lost was probably the 5th. And that was it. So I feel like he has more to prove. We wait for this car to pass by. I feel like he has a lot more to prove in the Oliveira fight, because there are some people like, oh, Oliveira didn't look the same. He didn't look like he wanted to be in there that night. I just feel like Islam's going to be like, all right, you guys are talking shit. I'm going to go out there and prove it again. But to the contrary, I feel like Oliveira should just keep it standing in this fight. And just go for like strict guillotines, chokes, not so much like pull guard and look for arms, because I don't think he's going to submit Makhachev that way. Yeah. So, last MMA topic, or MMA combat sport related topic, that is. Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou takes place the week after that. And so many people were hating on Francis for leaving the UFC, obviously, because we didn't get that John Jones fight.
Yeah.
But in the end, he won. And you can't help but to be happy for him, even if he goes out there and gets sparked in 20 seconds by Tyson. But I feel like what makes this fight so much more interesting than a Mayweather-McGregor or a Jake Paul-Tyron Woodley is their heavyweights.
Yeah, this is a punch.
That puncher's chance plays in so much heavier, no pun intended, at that weight class.
Yeah.
Do you think Francis even has a slight of a chance in that fight?
If you look at like who's caught Fury, really the only one was Wilder.
Yeah.
And you look at Wilder and his striking, like, just not good.
No.
Like he just hits hard.
Yeah.
And then you look at Ngannou. Ngannou's bigger. He's a bigger body. He's an actual heavyweight, and he probably has better like technique-wise striking.
It's sharp.
So could he get to him? Yes, but is like Tyson Fury's footwork is crazy for how big he is. And then it's also a thing of like you said, like we were just talking about earlier with the other fights, like, all right, like Fury would be like, Fury does sometimes, he's even admitted like he likes partying, he likes doing all the other stuff.
If he doesn't take Francis seriously.
If he doesn't take it serious and say he starts gassing and his legs ain't like what they are against top dudes, then it's that much easier for Francis to catch him. But what did they say the ounces on the gloves yet?
I think they're gonna be 10, maybe 12.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll put big gloves for Fury. I'm
Yeah.
Sure. So, they always do.
I just don't like how, and I'm not shitting on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it's taking place there.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. They throw bags at these dudes.
Oh, that's what it is.
But I just feel like this fight should have taken place in London or Vegas because all the big fights happen in Vegas. And I just feel like, obviously, it's going to do good in pay-per-views. What's your prediction on how many pay-per-views it'll sell? Because Conor and Floyd did 4.5 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Francis, he's a draw, but he doesn't have the personalities that a Floyd, Conor, or even a Tyson Fury has.
And I think there's just a lot more people hating on this one. Like for that one, Conor was so big at the time.
It was his prime.
And if you even look at Ngannou again now, when's the last time he's even fought? It's almost been a year and a half, almost 2.
Almost 2, yeah. His last fight against Cyril.
So he kind of lost that steam. Imagine if he would have fought Jones, knocked out Jones, and then done it. Then I think it would have done probably 2-2, something like that. But I bet you it comes close to 1 million. I don't think it'll do crazy everybody's thinking, but I think it'll probably do close to 1 million.
I think if it's under 1 million, it'll be a failure.
Yeah.
And I don't think heavyweight fighters or even boxers of that magnitude will fight another MMA fighter unless it's like a Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But I think it'll do at least 1.5, 1.5, because if you just look at their highlight reels alone, you could just be like, all right, I'm interested in seeing who's going to win. But, I think Francis definitely does have a puncher's chance, obviously. And I think that's what the big interest is. Yeah. Because Conor landed that uppercut on Floyd.
Yeah.
If Francis Ngannou lands that uppercut on Tyson, Tyson's going to sleep. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And that would be crazy too, if he does win, then that's what boxing puts himself in these weird predicament, because then what happens after that? It's hard to get, Fury still has all of his belts because they didn't put his belts up.
Yeah, but in the end, you still have that blemish on your record.
We all saw you got knocked out, homie.
Exactly.
But so that puts boxing in a weird spot too, because that is one of their bigger draws, and there's a lot of fights that they need to make in that division.
But it's weird. Usyk, they tried.
Joshua screwed it up because he lost a couple times. Ruiz kind of killed his momentum, but he's come back. He won his last one.
Right.
But
Wilder, he's always up in the air on what he's going to do.
Yeah, but that one's hard to make, too, because how bad the last one was. And, there's talks of Wilder fighting Ruiz. Mm-hmm. It's this weird little heavyweight tournament that's going on. But in the end, I feel like no one's going to end up fighting anyone unless it's way past their prime. Yeah, the only one who, doesn't really care, it seems like, is Usyk.
Yeah.
And he's so tiny for that division.
he's like a middleweight.
Yeah.
It's weird, but he mollywops dudes.
It's nuts, but we'll see. Yeah, but I just hope it's a good fight. I hope it's just not a blowout. I hope Fury doesn't clown him, because that makes MMA come on, up me.
I mean, Francis told him, he's you better start dancing, because I'm coming.
And a lot of it will be too the ring size. There's so many things in boxing that they change up, in the UFC or something. It's just the same cage every time, unless they go to the Apex. But
they go to the Apex, that's smaller, because the third fight between Stipe and DC was in a smaller octagon. Second fight between Stipe and Francis was in a smaller octagon. Yeah. So I agree 100%.
And that does make a huge difference. When I fight for Fury, their cage is huge.
Yeah.
And then when I fought on Battle, their cage was tiny.
I kind of noticed that.
And I was we're going to have to be banging right away. I was I can't move at all.
It's like fighting in a trampoline.
Yeah, but I was whatever.
Nice. Now, last thing, just to let the people know what you got going on next. Are you just waiting for another fight offer to come in?
There's a couple. Battles has one in Springs, I think October 7th, which is good timing for me, about 8 weeks with I'm healed and everything. And then I know JR is putting on Soto's main event in boxing coming up in Pueblo. So that'd be cool just to maybe do a boxing match.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to stay active and just switch it up. Because like when I was an amateur, I was doing kickboxing, I was doing boxing, I was doing all like whatever fight happens.
Yeah. Have you ever done a jiu-jitsu tournament?
Yeah, I've done a lot. We'll probably do a couple more at the end of the year. There's some coming up. Those are always fun. We always try to get our team from Children's Jiu-Jitsu to go and medal and get everybody to go. But yeah, I'm just going to try to stay busy. So whether it's at the end of September in boxing or October, I'm sure I'll be back before October's over, no matter what, though, and whatever it is. So yeah, other than that, just stay in shape and get ready for the next one.
Awesome, man. Now, I asked you this the last time, but it's been kind of a while since you've been on. Is the end goal, like, because LFA is like the UFC for the promotional, like the regional circuit.
Yeah.
How much more fights do you think you'll have to do to get to the LFA and then the UFC or a Bellator or a PFL?
So LFA, like we've even been offered over there, like on the other card and stuff.
Okay.
But a lot of that's like short notice, unfortunately.
Right,
Is
yeah.
like they have a lot of people fall out, and then hey, 2 weeks, could you fight this guy?
Yeah.
Hell no, I can make weight. So and like Fury, like I said, Fury's another top one, and we've been with them before, so we always go there. They always treated us good. So and not far. Like I'd probably do like 2 more here.
Okay.
If I got to like 5-2-1, that's a good record to go to wherever. You can pretty much go wherever at that point. So it's just stay ready, stay stacking these wins, and then
hell yeah, man.
wait for something else to come up.
Awesome. Well, I'll be there. I've been following you for a while. I'll be at your next fight. Y'all better check him out whenever he fights again, because it's going to be a banger. Certified banger. Pleasure having you on again, my man.
Right on. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.